Welcome to this explainer. Okay, today we are unpacking something super fascinating. We're looking at Neogen chemicals, specifically reviewing their Q1 FY27 performance and their overall growth prospects. We're really going to dive into how a legacy chemical business successfully transitions into the wildly demanding battery ecosystem.
So you might be wondering, how exactly does a decades-old chemical company just pivot to power the global battery boom? You don't just wake up one morning and decide to supply the highly complex cell manufacturing industry. It takes deep-rooted infrastructure, serious institutional knowledge, and a solid baseline of operational excellence.
Section 1. Foundation and Evolution.
To really grasp how they're pulling this off, we've got to look back. Their evolution has been incredibly purposeful. From their early pre-Neogen days, way back in the 1970s, up through a long period of really honing their expertise at a single site until 2016. But look at the acceleration after that, expanding to 2 sites, and now scaling up to operate multiple sites globally by 2025. It's literally decades of compounding chemical engineering know-how.
And what does that scale look like today? Well, we're talking 4 distinct manufacturing sites and 2 dedicated R&D facilities. Plus, the promoters bring over 6 decades of cumulative experience to the table. But here is the real kicker for their future. They've already got these rock-solid relationships with leading global lithium miners and processors. That existing lithium supply chain, that's the absolute bedrock of their pivot into battery chemicals.
Section 2. Q1 FY27 Performance Snapshot.
So how did that foundation hold up recently? Managing Director Dr. Kanani hit the nail on the head, emphasizing their robust performance, specifically calling out the highest revenue they've ever recorded in their core organolithium portfolio. It's a phenomenal start to the financial year, driven by real, sustained customer offtake. It basically proves their current engines are firing on all cylinders while they build out for the future.
Now, I should point out, it hasn't exactly been smooth sailing out there in the broader market. They've had to navigate some serious global supply chain pressures and, elevated input costs that are squeezing margins across the whole sector. Add to that the intense transition activities they've had at their DAHEJ plant. To post record core revenues while juggling all these overlapping massive headwinds, that shows some serious underlying resilience.
Section 3. DAHEJ Plant Recovery Details.
Speaking of DAHEJ, the physical reconstruction of that facility is officially complete. They aren't just staring at blueprints anymore. Actual trial runs are actively underway right now. As this replacement plant scales up, they're perfectly positioned to leverage that expanded capacity and really drive sustainable, long-term growth.
Now, on the financial side, dealing with the disruption of that scale takes some serious maneuvering. Right now, their net claim receivable on a consolidated basis sits at a hefty INR 186 crore. It really highlights how methodically they're tracking these figures to protect the overall balance sheet.
But here's the really reassuring part. They haven't just filed those claims, they're actively securing them. Cumulative recoveries already stand at an impressive INR 164 crore to date. That's made up of on-account insurance claims, including a recent July tranche, plus salvage realization. They are literally turning a past operational disruption into a stepping stone, freeing up management bandwidths to focus squarely on growth.
Section 4. Powering Up with Battery Chemicals.
All right, now for the really exciting part, 50%. The Neogen Ionics division generated over 50% of its entire prior year revenue in just the first quarter of FY27 alone. I mean, let that sink in for a second. We always hear about future growth in these sectors, but this explosive start, it proves their strategic bet on the battery ecosystem is paying off right here in real time.
And this isn't just a fluke. That massive revenue bump is backed by tangible operational momentum. They're successfully crushing rigorous customer validations and, crucially, clearing international site audits. If you follow this space, you know that is a massive barrier to entry in a highly regulated, safety-obsessed industry. By locking in these key client approvals, Neogen Ionics is uniquely positioning itself as a top-tier trusted partner for global cell manufacturers.
Section 5. FY27 Growth and Outlook.
Bringing this all together, Dr. Kanani stated clearly that FY27 will be a defining year of execution for the company. That's a huge signal. The groundwork is laid, the macroeconomic storms have been weathered, the facilities are rebuilt. Now, it's all about aggressive, laser-focused execution to commission and scale up that battery materials project.
The biggest takeaway for us here is this concept of dual engine growth. While everyone's watching the flashy new battery segment scale up, their foundational core business isn't missing a beat. With the replacement DAHEJ facility nearing full operational readiness, that base business is set to resume its highly reliable, normalized growth trajectory. They're basically firing on both fronts.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a thought. We've seen their 6-decade foundation, the record core revenues, and that wild 50% Q1 start for Neogen Ionics. As the global demand for cell manufacturing absolutely skyrockets, will Neogen's defining year of execution truly cement its place as an indispensable player in the battery boom? Well, the groundwork is certainly there, and the momentum is absolutely undeniable. Thanks so much for joining me, and definitely keep your eyes on this fascinating transition.